The worst thing is in practice, I think you all can agree with me, is the team treadmill. You have them for 3 months, year, 2 years, even 3 years, and then they're gone. But what we want to aspire to, as best as possible, is having a team that will be with us for life. Hey everybody, welcome to the CCC webinar today. Wow. We're just coming off the C3 Mountaintop Experience. And for those of you that were there, wow, what an amazing weekend we all had together. I hope that all of you are going to put all the things that you learned in practice, because it's amazing when we all get together. The energy was so incredible, so full of excitement and passion and joy. Dr. Ben, I want to thank everybody who was there. And remember, May 3rd, May 4th, United. That's going to be an exceptional 2-day conference. If you haven't made your reservations yet, we're 3 months out. Go ahead and do it. Don't hesitate. Procrastination is defeat. We want to be able to get right on board and make our reservation as soon as we can. So I want to talk to you about being a great boss, which is really being a great leader in your practice. And most of us have not just one CA, but multiple CAs and CA chiropractic assistant. I like to call my team not assistant, but professional, chiropractic professional. And this is one of the reasons why is, number one, if there's how many chiropractors in the world today, if there's 70,000 chiropractors in the world today, right? And there's each office have 2 chiropractic professionals. That's not many in population comparison. So assistant to me is more, and don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, it's kind of more like a belittling. But when we bring it up a level, CP, chiropractic professional, that we're all in the chiropractic profession together, I think that encourages the team. It brings more value to the team and helps them to want to be on the mission, being part of the mission of our offices. So number one, we want to hire top-notch, excellent people. And I think what happens a lot of times in chiropractors' offices, in mentoring chiropractors for decades now, we want to go cheap and not spend some extra money in hiring top-notch people. Well, what I found is, in 4+ decades of being a practice, that it's better to hire top-notch people and pay them what they're worth, giving them a good salary. It causes increase and expansion of our practices. And when we pay them correctly, then they tend on staying with us for years. The worst thing is in practice, I think you all can agree with me, is the team treadmill. You have them for 3 months, year, 2 years, even 3 years, and then they're gone. And a lot of times they leave because they can get more money at another office or another position in another profession, or so on and so on. But what we want to aspire to, as best as possible, is having a team that will be with us for life, for years. I've had team members in the past that were with me for 25 years. That's the way you want to do it, but you have to pay them correctly. So I think you should self-examine what we're talking about today and see if you are paying your people that are working for you the correct salary. Or if you're hiring somebody, hire somebody who's qualified and pay them correctly. We want to put the right people in the right job and weed out the wrong people. Well, let me explain that to you. First of all, say you have 3 team members and one team member is terrible at insurance if you still take insurance. But this individual is outgoing, sends you 10 referrals a month, is charismatic. Well, that individual should still be part of your team, but move that individual, if you can, to say the front desk or to be another part of your team. Maybe they could be your promotional team, but in a different position that will utilize their gifts. That's why when you hire somebody, you have to do different types of personality tests, whether it's Enneagram, the Gary Chapman, love languages from his book, but you need to have personality tests to find out what gifting that individual has, because we all have our own giftings to allow us to function at the God-given potential that he's given us in our gifts. So you don't have to fire that individual, but you should place that individual in another position. And sometimes if all the positions are already filled, it's a blessing to your practice to take that individual and put them in another position in promoting your practice and hiring somebody else to do the insurance, even though at that particular time you may not need another team member, but by putting that individual there, your practice will boom, and then you're going to need another new team member anyway. We always have to be specific as a leader. Specific as a leader. Giving them the specific, exact reason for what they're doing and how to go about doing it and what not to do. But we have to be specific. There can't be any gray. Gray leads to frustration. It's got to be black or white. This is exactly what needs to be done. This is exactly what time it needs to be done. This is exactly when you need to be here. This is exactly when your lunch break is. This is exactly when we have to clean the office, whatever it may be. But you have to be completely specific and exact to be a good boss, to be a great leader in your practice. Too many are gray. Too many doctors I found in mentoring are not specific in giving the exact directions. And it really goes beyond training. Hopefully most of you are training at least one day a week and at least having a team meeting one day a week and huddles. But besides that, we have to be specific in everything that we are explaining to our team members. We can't be wishy-washy. We can't procrastinate, but we have to be right there, specific. Telling them exactly what needs to be done and give them a time limit of when it needs to be finished by. And you should have a checklist each day that the team member, you give them their checklist for the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and this is what needs to be done each day. Then at the end of the day, you should sign the checklist to make sure that they accomplished everything that was set out to be done during that day. A checklist. You tell them, they make it. At the end of the day, they come to you. Here, doc, this is what I've done. This is the times I've done. I finished it. Checklist. You sign it. It brings value, it brings greater leadership, and it brings better office team organization. Once you tell them what to do in specifics, let them do it. Don't be on their back. For example, so many doctors keep on running up to the front desk. Did you call this one? Did you do this? Did you do that? Wrong. Bad. If you don't trust them, after you do everything correct in preparation, in team meeting, in training, in huddle, in checklist, then they're the wrong fit for your practice. Because your mind is on if they're doing the job correctly, and your mind is off of serving God by serving man through the vehicle of specific scientific chiropractic. And that causes you to be double-minded, and a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. So once we've done everything, leave them alone, because they're going to bring that checklist to you at the end of the night or day or whatever time you leave for you to sign off. We have to be good listeners. You have to remember this. And I think I told everybody this at one time or another in our calls, but out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what is your team saying? They could be fatigued, but you don't know that they're fatigued if you're not a good listener. Sometimes you may have to give them an extra day off to get back on track, because they could be a mother of 5 and they're a team member and they're a little bit stressed out at home because something came up. We want them to be 100% on focus on saving lives. And sometimes we may have to give them an extra day off or a half a day off to get them back on track, which is okay in the society that we're living in. But the only way you're going to know that is if you're a good listener. We have to be good listeners. Remember, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. What is your team saying? Understanding. What are they saying? We have to remove all frustration from the team, all backbiting. If we don't do everything that I've talked about so far, there's going to usually be frustration. We have to remove frustration, because frustration is one of the leading bottlenecks of practice growth. Again, out of the abundance of heart, the mouth speaks. What is frustrating your team? Is it that maybe there needs to be more chairs in the waiting room? Maybe you're running late all the time to do your workshops or your group report of findings. You come in late to the office, and that's frustrating your team. We have to remove all frustration to be the leader and the shepherd of our office that we're supposed to be. And we're always inspecting progress weekly at the end of the week. End of the week, short team meeting. Could be a longer huddle, but we want to inspect our weekly progress every week. You don't do it in the middle of the week, but it's better to do it at the end of the week, because we still have the whole week to aspire to what we need to get to. A lot of times, say you have a new patient, goal of 10 new ones a week, and Wednesday comes and you only have 2, but you know what? Thursday, you can end up having 8. So we want to press towards the mark, aspiring throughout the whole week, giving 100% as a team to aspire to reach the goals. And next, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. And I've said this to all of you. If you ever heard me speak anywhere or coaching, they did a study years ago. They took a number of Fortune 500 companies and they took managers who could have very well have made a lot more money, who are with these Fortune 500 companies for 20 plus years and could have had another job anywhere making a lot more money, or maybe even being a CEO themselves. And they said, what made you stay? Was it the money? They said, no, it's just a few words. Thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Publicly, in front of the team, in front of each other. When a team member does something good, awesome, awesome. See how I say that? Awesome, great, great. That inspires them, that encourages them. Everybody wants to be encouraged. Everybody wants to be congratulated. And that makes you have a champion team leader boss. Remember, you guys rock. With God, all things are possible. May 3rd, May 4th, united. Let's come together with our profession, unite, help us, pray for us for May 3rd and May 4th, that this could literally transform the chiropractic profession once and for all, so that we can unite. Because like 133 Psalm says, when oil drips down the beard of Aaron, it's something that cannot be separated, and that will bring more power, more strength, and help our profession be the leader in healthcare once and for all. God bless you. You guys rock. We'll speak to you soon.